David Benavidez has built a reputation as one of the most relentless and destructive fighters in modern boxing. Every time he steps into the ring, there's an expectation that something violent is about to happen. His pressure, hand speed, and brutal combinations have turned him into a nightmare for elite opponents. While many fighters rely on one-punch knockouts, Benavidez overwhelms people with non-stop punishment, breaking their confidence round after round. Fans call him the Mexican Monster for a reason. He doesn't simply win fights, he hunts his opponents down and forces them into survival mode. Over the years, he has produced several unforgettable performances that proved he belongs among boxing's most feared fighters. Whether it was against rugged veterans or undefeated champions, Benavidez always found a way to impose his will. These fights weren't just victories. They were statements that shook the entire super middleweight division and made even the biggest names think twice before sharing the ring with him. One of the most brutal showcases of Benavidez's power came against David Lemieux. Before the fight, fans expected fireworks because both men were known for their punching ability and aggressive styles. Lemieux had scored devastating knockouts throughout his career and believed his power could trouble Benavidez early. But once the opening bell rang, the difference in speed, size, and accuracy became obvious almost immediately. Benavidez marched forward behind a punishing jab and started landing heavy combinations that snapped Lemieux's head back repeatedly. Every exchange seemed to favor Benavidez, who looked faster and sharper in every department. Lemieux tried to fire back with hooks and body shots, but Benavidez simply absorbed the pressure and answered with even more punishment. By the end of the first round, Lemieux already looked overwhelmed. Benavidez's combination punching was too much to handle. As the fight moved into the second round, Benavidez increased the intensity even further. He started unloading brutal uppercuts, hooks, and straight rights that landed with terrifying consistency. Lemieux's toughness kept him standing, but every punch from Benavidez seemed to drain more life out of him. At one point, Lemieux was stumbling around the ring while still trying to fight back, showing incredible courage despite the punishment he was taking. Benavidez, however, showed no mercy. He attacked the body, split the guard with jabs, and followed up with crushing combinations upstairs. The referee watched closely as Lemieux absorbed shot after shot without offering much resistance. Even the commentators began questioning how much more punishment he could survive. Benavidez's offensive arsenal was on full display: speed, accuracy, timing, and relentless aggression all working together perfectly. Eventually, the referee had seen enough and stopped the contest, saving Lemieux from further damage. It was a complete destruction that confirmed Benavidez as one of the most dangerous fighters alive. After dominating Lemieux, Benavidez entered a massive showdown against Caleb Plant in one of the most anticipated fights of his career. Unlike Lemieux, Plant wasn't expected to stand toe-to-toe and trade punches. Instead, he planned to use movement, defense, and counterpunching to frustrate Benavidez. Early in the fight, that strategy worked surprisingly well. Plant circled the ring, landed sharp jabs, and avoided many of Benavidez's power shots. Benavidez looked tense in the opening rounds, throwing fewer punches than usual and struggling to cut off the ring effectively. Plant's footwork and defensive skills allowed him to control the pace early, and many observers believed he was building a lead on the scorecards. Benavidez continued marching forward, but he wasn't unleashing the explosive combinations fans had grown accustomed to seeing. As the middle rounds approached, Benavidez slowly began finding his rhythm. His jab became more active, and he started targeting Plant's body with heavy hooks. Every round, the pressure increased little by little. Plant still had moments of success, especially with his counters and movement, but the pace Benavidez set was becoming exhausting. Eventually, Benavidez trapped Plant near the ropes and unleashed several punishing combinations that visibly hurt him. For the first time in the fight, Plant looked shaken. Benavidez sensed the momentum shift immediately and attacked with even more aggression. He hammered Plant with hooks to the body, uppercuts on the inside, and crushing right hands upstairs. Plant tried to hold repeatedly to slow the assault, but Benavidez continued forcing the action. The energy inside the arena exploded as fans realized the fight was turning into the war they had hoped for. Benavidez's relentless pressure was finally breaking Plant down physically and mentally after several competitive early rounds. The later rounds against Plant showcased exactly why Benavidez is considered such a terrifying pressure fighter. Even after throwing hundreds of punches, he kept marching forward with the same intensity. Plant's movement slowed dramatically, and his punches no longer carried the same snap they had earlier in the fight. Benavidez took advantage immediately, attacking with non-stop combinations that forced Plant into survival mode. Every time Plant tried to escape, Benavidez cut him off and punished him with hooks and uppercuts. The accumulation of damage became impossible to ignore. Plant showed tremendous heart by continuing to fight back, but Benavidez clearly controlled the second half of the bout. The crowd roared every time Benavidez landed another crushing sequence, sensing that a stoppage could come at any moment. Although Plant survived until the final bell, the outcome felt undeniable by the championship rounds. By the third and fourth rounds, the momentum started changing dramatically. Benavidez began landing harder shots and forcing Andrade into uncomfortable exchanges along the ropes. His jab became sharper, and he started timing Andrade's movement more effectively. Then came the breakthrough moment. Benavidez landed a devastating right hand that sent Andrade crashing to the canvas. The crowd erupted instantly as Andrade struggled to recover. Although he managed to beat the count, he no longer looked comfortable or confident. Benavidez recognized the damage immediately and attacked with ruthless intensity. He stalked Andrade around the ring, firing uppercuts, hooks, and straight rights while refusing to give him any room to breathe. Andrade attempted to survive by moving and clinching, but Benavidez's pressure was relentless. Every combination seemed to push Andrade closer to collapse. The slick undefeated technician who looked so composed earlier in the fight suddenly appeared trapped in a nightmare against a fighter who smelled blood and refused to let him escape. The punishment Andrade absorbed in the following rounds was some of the worst of his career. Benavidez trapped him near the ropes repeatedly and unloaded vicious combinations to both the body and head. Andrade occasionally fired back with counters, but they had little effect on Benavidez, who walked through the punches without hesitation. The power difference between the two men became increasingly obvious with every exchange. Benavidez looked stronger, fresher, and more dangerous as the fight progressed. Andrade's movement slowed, and his reactions became delayed under the non-stop assault. Benavidez's ability to combine volume with power made the attack especially brutal because there was never a chance for Andrade to recover fully. Fans inside the arena could sense the ending approaching as Benavidez overwhelmed him with wave after wave of offense. What makes Benavidez so dangerous isn't just his knockout power, it's the way he systematically destroys opponents over time. Many punchers rely on single explosive moments, but Benavidez breaks fighters mentally and physically through constant pressure. He throws combinations with terrifying speed for someone his size, and he maintains that aggression deep into championship rounds. Opponents often start fights confidently, believing they can outbox him or survive his offense, but eventually the pressure becomes unbearable. Benavidez keeps walking forward, cutting off the ring, and forcing exchanges until resistance finally crumbles. That style has made him one of the most feared men in boxing today. Even elite champions understand how dangerous he is because very few fighters can handle his combination of size, stamina, speed, and power. Every big performance has only increased the public demand to see him face the very best fighters in the world. Fans don't just watch Benavidez fights expecting victories, they expect destruction. At this stage of his career, David Benavidez has evolved from a talented champion into a genuine force of nature inside the ring. His victories over fighters like David Lemieux, Caleb Plant, and Demetrius Andrade proved that he belongs among boxing's elite. Each fight showcased a different aspect of his greatness: raw brutality against Lemieux, relentless pressure and endurance against Plant, and calculated destruction against Andrade. More importantly, those performances convinced many fans that Benavidez could potentially dominate the entire super middleweight division for years to come. His confidence continues to grow with every victory, and his reputation as the Mexican Monster feels more justified every time he steps through the ropes. Whether critics love him or doubt him, Benavidez always finds a way to make people talk after his fights.